Another album review means another band name that I get to ruin without trying to. What's going on, Cover Killer Nation? I know it's been a couple of days. I feel a little bit revitalized, but we're going to see how things go from here. For those of you who didn't see the Cover Killer Nation Facebook status, the output might get a little bit slimmer here in the following weeks, simply because I'm just burnt out. But that's not tonight. Tonight we're doing a review, and tonight we're going to do a review of Drudkh, or Drudkh, however you wish to say it, Eternal Turn of the Wheel, which was released about a week or so ago. And if you don't know about these guys, then you've kind of been living under a black metal rock, either that or you've been kind of exposed to other forms of metal or other bands in these genres and not really been exposed to this band, which is a black metal band that incorporates a lot of folk elements into their music and a lot of Ukrainian nationalism. And with this album, there was a lot of, I guess, apprehension toward this album, or in that case, a lot of celebration. It's one of the two. Considering their last album was met with a lot of polarizing either acclaim or disdain, all depending on who you were speaking to. It was a little bit of a deviation from their course, incorporating a little bit more of the prog rock or post-rock elements into their music that some fans really just didn't really buy into. They really didn't dig it that much. So they really hoped that Eternal Turn of the Wheel was a return to form, and they definitely got their wish. Eternal Turn of the Wheel is kind of the best of both worlds, only really leans more towards the classic sound from these guys that began as a band in the early 2000s. So what does their classic sound really entail? For those of you who maybe have never heard them, and that is a strong black metal exterior that does have reminiscence to a very progressive side, or a very post-metal or progressive rock side, that are incorporated most of the time, though, in the background through the use of atmospherics, through the use of keyboards, and through the use of dueling harmonies, either that or differing harmonies. There's a nice duality that's there. Now, if there's one thing I'm going to say about this album that may get me absolutely lambasted, it's going to be this, and that's the fact that this is a band that seems to be very strong in creating an atmosphere that can really make your hairs on your arms and legs, and maybe even your balls, I don't know, stand up on end. Only this is something that happens only momentarily on some of the tracks. It's not something where the whole entire time you're experiencing this radical and weird feeling, especially the ball hair part. That's just strange. And this is something where it happens a lot on this album near the ending, at least for one half of this album, on the first two tracks after the introduction. It seems like there are just little moments that are nearly that are both times they are geared toward near the end of the track. We're talking like around the 6-minute mark. These are very lengthy tracks, so don't be alarmed by that. That have these short, very small passages that really just turn your hair on end, and it's usually whenever they go from ripping black metal to something completely different. You know, whether it be a very soft passage, either that or just adding a little atmospheric part to it, such as a tolling of a death bell, so to speak, as I like to call it, whenever I was kind of reviewing it on the fly on Facebook a couple of nights ago, very, very late. And this is something that just creates a perfect atmosphere. And as I said, whenever I was reviewing it over on Facebook, Drudkh just has that ability. They have that ability to just create sonic texture that is almost impossible to replicate. It's something that they do, something very simple, something minute, something that really, you know, can be easily obtained, and it seems as though they just know the correct patterns, they know the correct key, they know exactly how to build that atmosphere into their music and make it memorable, and that's something that creates a strong album. The final two tracks, though, completely and totally deviate from my predisposed notion and instead are strong all around. These are two tracks that, from start to finish, are able to butcher in the variety and really create something that is a supersonic notion that is really kind of pleasing to experience. Now, how is this going to kind of go up against classics such as Blood in Our Wells and things like that? And it's the fact that this is an album that is enough of the status quo from those days that hardcore fans are going to be very satisfied, but there's enough of a change in there that there's going to be something there for new fans to digest, as well as to have old fans continue to have their mouth be standing agape whenever they listen to this record. Don't know what mouth agape means? That. Never knew what that was like, or what that, notion looked like, or was called. Well, there you go. This band, though, as I feel, or this album, should I say, Eternal Turn of the Wheel, I feel, though, is going to be kind of near the top, but maybe closer to the middle whenever you consider their overall body of work, which includes, the post-rock work. It includes all acoustic folk work. There's just some crazy works that this band has certainly experienced and experimented along with. So this is one that I feel is going to be probably in the upper echelon, but maybe not quite. It's definitely not quite going to touch the classics. In fact, if anything, we'd give this a solid 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this album, and after seeing some of the reviews and some of the comments over on some websites, I feel that that a lot of people do share that sentiment, but there's also a growing number of people that perhaps are a little bit, I don't know, it just seems like once again, it's polarizing, and I don't understand why. I think that there's a lot of people that just kind of judge not, but did judge after hearing the last album, or just don't like this band in general for some reason. I don't know. It's a very difficult thing to explain. But I really like this album. I don't understand why some people maybe were just not thrilled with it, but hey, opinions are opinions. And I think that you guys will enjoy experiencing this. I think that this is one that, certainly if you're a black metal fan of any variety, this is something that you should certainly experience, and you probably know this band already. So this is one to definitely check out, even if you were not so keen on the last one. So definitely check out Drudkh's Eternal Turn of the Wheel, and I will see you next time, which will be probably for round 1 of Music Madness. Yes, it is here. So hopefully I'll see you guys come out for that. Take care.